We're just going to stir that up, put it on low, and we're going to let this cook for 3 hours. There is no box of macaroni and cheese that's going to taste that good anywhere. Look at the steam coming off of that.
Oh, Paula. Kelly's Court is back in session. On the docket today, it is getting hot in this kitchen of celebrity chef Paula Deen. She backed out of a TV appearance on the Today Show this morning following some racially charged remarks she recently admitted to making decades ago. So the admission was recent, but the remarks were allegedly decades ago. A short time ago today, she announced on her Twitter feed that she will release a video statement. We continue to await that. And joining me now to discuss it, Jonas Bilbor, former prosecutor, now defense attorney, and Mercedes Colwin, who's a Fox News legal analyst. All right, so Jonna, what happened was an employee of hers sued her and her brother, who runs a restaurant of hers, for discrimination. What kind of discrimination?
2 types of discrimination: racial discrimination and apparently some sexual discrimination, sex harassment as well. And the plaintiff is alleging that there's a lot of N-words being bandied about at that restaurant and a lot of dirty joke telling, apparently, much to the offense of the people who work there. This would be under Title VII, Megan. And
some porn watching as well. She's accusing the brother of watching porn at the office, and apparently Paula Deen said, well, I wouldn't persecute him for that if somebody sent it to him and he pulled it up on his computer and there it was. Mercedes, so in the context of this civil lawsuit against her, and listen, people sue celebrities like Paula Deen who have a lot of money and a lot of success all the time.
Big targets.
That doesn't mean that they're valid, right? That a lawsuit's been filed. And they have to sit for a deposition. Just because you sit for a deposition doesn't mean it's valid.
Exactly.
So in the context of the deposition, she gets asked what?
She got asked whether she had made these N-words, but here's the rub. The plaintiff is Caucasian. She is not black, and in fact, when you look, I have the 33-page complaint in here. You know what this is about? I don't get paid the same as my male colleagues. By the way, the Bubba Deen, who is Paula Deen's brother, tried to kiss me a few times. He watches porn. He's disgusting. He makes these sexist remarks. Where's the racial discrimination here? It's just an add-on.
How is she suing for racial discrimination if she's white and Paula Deen is white?
Well, that's the rub. She's claiming that because I saw my colleagues being called the N-word or the N-word being about, somehow that affected my emotional psyche.
So it was a hostile work environment situation?
It was a hostile, but no, oddly enough, it's not even there. It's in what she calls intentional infliction of emotional distress. I was so emotionally distressed by watching it. It's an add-on. Call Paula Deen a racist. Call her a bigot. It'll give me more money at the end.
So then they get her. So then they get Paula Deen under oath at a deposition, John, and they ask her whether she's ever used the N-word in her life. And here is wait, hold on a second. Let me just set it up. She talked about how. Hold on. Don't confuse them with the full screen until I'm ready. So she talked about how she got held up one time back in 1986. And she said after that encounter, she went home and told her husband about it, and she used the N-word. And here's that section of the deposition that's made all the news. Lawyer, okay, well, did you use the N-word to describe him as he pointed a gun in your head at your face? Paula Deen, absolutely not. Well, then when did you use it? Probably in telling my husband. And that's from a deposition transcript. This is back in 1986. Then she went on. Here's another segment, number 2. She says, look, that's just not a word that we use as time has gone on. Things have changed since the 60s in the South. And my children and my brother object to that word being used in any cruel or mean behavior, as well as I do. And they went on to ask her, well, what do you mean in a cruel way? And she kind of seemed to say, well, if it's in a joke, maybe that doesn't offend as much in her view.
That's what makes her the worst kind of
offensive.
racist. There's no nice way to use that word. There's no nice way to be a racist. And that's where Paula Deen's putting her foot in her mouth constantly. You know, too bad she doesn't have any butter on that, because she thinks that if she's joking around using the word, or, oh my God, planning a slave-themed wedding because the waiters look so handsome and it was impressive, that's not racism.
But Jonna, this is the rub, though. The plaintiff here has no standing. She can't come forward and say, hey, I'm white, but because I don't like the way my black colleagues are being treated, I'm going to put that in their cause of action. It doesn't work that way.
She can be offended by the language. And that's a hostile work environment.
Go ahead, Mercedes.
For this intentional infliction of emotional distress, you've got to be so outraged, so psychically damaged damage because someone's using the N-word, that's you get the claim. This is an add-on. This is a rub. I'm going to get more money at the end of the day if I say Paula Deen is a bigot, a racist, and she says the N-word.
Most of the stuff is directed against the brother, but Paula Deen is the one with the big pockets. They said that she's as successful and financially as Oprah almost. So anyway, got to go. Up next, Kim and Kanye and their baby.
Thanks, Megan.